Okay, so we are live. Guys, welcome to All Things Cinema podcast. It's been a long time since we did a live show, and the last time I did a live show was with the one and only Nona Prince, and we were discussing another Mammootty film last time, Kadal the Core, and we are back again to discuss all things Bramayugam this time because this has been a talk of the town, and I think we both missed it when it was in theaters, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And now that it's on OTT, and I actually really enjoyed your live reaction as well to it. So yeah, so we thought, why not just do a little discussion on something that we both are a fan of, not just the movie, but of course, Mamka, who's not a fan of him. Uh, so welcome back again, Nona. And how did you like? First of all, I am assuming that it didn't release in Goa. That's why you missed it in
It released,
theaters.
but very far away. Yeah. Just
Okay,
one show, and that too very far.
okay. So the trailer dropped long time ago, right? And first of all, I am a huge fan of not just Malayalam films but also Malayalam trailers, right? These people know how to cut a trailer because unlike Bollywood, the way they edit the trailers, it just increases your anticipation. And so when I saw Brahmayugam trailer, it didn't give out anything like story wise or plot wise, and yet it pulled you in and you wanted to know more about it, right? That's the right way of cutting a trailer. So right from the time when it was announced to the trailer and now that you watched it, like did you think that it met your expectations or like exceeded your expectations? How was the first impression?
From the trailer, it's been long time. I don't even remember when was the trailer out. But I think just from the black and white look itself, I think from the first poster itself, I think it was
Right.
very clear it's gonna be something unique. I think the first poster was a house
Yeah.
and the sky opening and something coming down kind of. And that like Mammootty doing a film with him, it's gonna be horror film. Like I think that
Mm.
director also said that was the black and white Mammootty and horror film. That's his three
Mm.
words he used, and producers were
Yeah.
like, of course, why not? You know that itself, and when the first poster came of him, with those teeth and everything, and he
Yeah.
said that they just took a picture of it on the set and it was working fine, so they just put it out. And that just gives you so much hype of what
Yeah.
to expect. And I think the trailer also doesn't give away much. It kind of gives you enough to understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And I think the film itself, definitely, I understand when everyone says, oh, it is a theater film, you have to watch in a theater to experience
Mm.
the vibrations and the sound and music to appreciate what you're witnessing. And I,
Mm.
of course, as you said, I did a whole live reaction, so it was like a light on my head. And the chat, I didn't was not reading the chat, but it's not equivalent to a theater experience. So I think this is definitely a film you appreciate more watching in theater. But I think for me it was always on the start, knowing the director's previous film. For me it was, I'm not a big fan of this genre in particular.
Mm.
Even like I have seen some amazing films like Midsommar and Hereditary, which are horror, but very
Mm.
feeling of feeling terrifying, not just because there's a ghost, but feeling terrifying of situation, feeling terrifying
Yeah.
of what's of sadness of all these things. And that's what happened in this
Mm.
first film, the Kala, which was
Yeah.
about the grief, how grief can haunt you. So that
Yeah.
is using the horror element, but in a very real way.
Yeah.
And I was expecting the same from this, but I think for me, from more of the horror elements, even Mammootty's performance, for me, it was what they did with the class and
Mm.
caste divide, and how they used that through this genre and this creature. Spoiler alert: this creature, and how they explored that dynamic in a
Yeah.
very I would say non-commercial way. They at no point they were like, oh, we have to make it commercial. We have to make it these jump scares, or you want to add more stuff, more characters. Them just deciding to not just have six on-screen characters, like seven
Right.
if you count a character who
Yeah.
later we find was dead itself. So it's the same actor playing it. So six on-screen characters just telling its whole story. It's just incredible.
I mean, yeah. So I was gonna come to that later, but now that you have touched it, that there were only very few countable characters, and yet with just those many limited characters, to be able to do this sort of world building of 17th century in black and white, again, very creative choices, very, and it's a so I saw your review as well, and you also pointed out that it's not just same sort of black and white throughout. Like they have tried to experiment with different shades of black and white as well, because that's something they can sort
Yeah.
of experiment with when a film is in black and white. So
I like
that
I cannot say how they did it.
yeah,
What I tried for my video also, right? So I
yeah,
tried two different things. First, I just applied a black and white filter,
yeah,
to my video to see how it looks, and then what I did, I put some other element. I put saturation and made it zero, and
okay,
both gave me different look. So black and white was just making everything which is darker black and everything which is lighter white, whereas putting the saturation down was giving me different, more dynamic picture
mm,
quality, where I can see different colors. You cannot see the colors, but they're different colors. You can
yeah,
guess it's not black or white. it's
right,
it's something, but there's no color to it. It's the
yeah,
color is appearance is black and white, but there's some color. You can
yeah,
identify.
yeah, and
So
no,
that's what you get in the film also, that
yeah,
it's not like flat. There's a
yeah,
flatness to the image. There's a depth, which I think because of different shades are there, it gives you the feeling of depth.
yeah.
I think which was very important.
So like Oppenheimer, the whole black and white part was actually filmed in black and white. Like the
Yeah.
IMAX,
Yeah.
created that film for that. So you couldn't tell, different sort of color. But here, I think they must have shot it in color and then probably done, if
Yeah.
who knows.
I
Uh,
think
but
even if you say Dune, right? There's
yeah,
some black and white scenes. It's actually not black and white. They shot with infrared cameras.
yeah,
So there's no colored, thing, and they then converted it to something. It is infrared camera, infrared footage.
right,
That's how they got the footage. And you cannot
yeah,
achieve that look in black and white.
and I think it's a very aesthetic choice as well. Like what this genre and everything is one thing, but just having that black
Yeah.
and white adds a little more depth, and also sort of makes those principal characters also a little bit more intriguing. Like just having that sort of change from color to black and white, and so and overall, I think it's very difficult to point out the one single thing to start with, where you could credit the director, because it's there's so much to talk about. But just to start off, I think the world building for me was probably something that I took home with after watching it, because the whole 17th century, and that house that you told that was in the first poster. So
Yeah.
from the word go, you are sucked into this world, and they do such a good job of keeping you in it. Like you don't really feel like saturated or something. So what did you think of the whole world building? Because we have seen Bhutakalam by the same director in
Yeah.
previously, and it sort of is in the same sort of semi genre. Like that was a little more psychological, and how you said that it was more about grief. But again, like
Yeah.
he's building onto this genre as well after Bhutakalam. So what did you think of his world building?
I would say this is also like a supernatural, like a creature is involved.
Yeah,
And I think the way they set up the world, right? Like, they start with the Yakshini. Even like
yeah,
the character is not like, oh, what is that? The character understands what's happening. He understands this exists in this world, so that
hmm,
you as audience also understand, oh, this is not normal, but this is
hmm,
understood. It's not characters like, oh, there's no ghost, there's no, I don't believe in all this. There's
yeah,
no that element at all. So I think that makes you understand, oh, this world, these things exist. This is
hmm,
part of their It's not like maybe the guy have heard about these rumors, or
Mm.
he knows that in the village will find it, because he just looks at her and he knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a lost cause, I cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So those are small small details, right? Even when he goes inside, the way he explains, oh, the grandfather, great grandfather had done the what do you call it, Yagna, and he got
Mm.
a goblin through that. And
Yeah.
so it feels like, oh, he understands. So this happens. It's a thing. I think that just gives you, oh, I'm into this world. That's how it is done. It's not, no scroll in the beginning. Oh,
Yeah.
this world, forget, far far away in the galaxies,
Yeah.
nothing like that. So old in the 17th century, they didn't waste time on all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
little like Tumbad, right? Like even that world was a little
I think
sort
Tumba
of fantasy, but
does set
it
up.
is believable.
Yeah, I think Tumba does set it up, but again, I think just like this film, Tumba also, it's not focused about that.
Yeah.
The focus is not that. Focus is not the superpowers, or I remember in Tumba, we don't see the creature until after the interval.
Yeah.
Like after the interval, we see first time him going inside the
Mm.
thing in the womb, which we get later find out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we see the creature for the first time, that what he's doing for so long. Like after interval, you don't get to see that. So that
Right.
shows you that the focus is on what the greed humans have. And just like
Yeah.
in this film, right? We don't, I think the first thing we get, supernatural stuff we get. Yes, of course, Yakshini, but she's not doing anything
Mm.
abnormal.
Mm.
She just maybe hypnotized him or something. But the dice moving, that's the
Yeah.
first clue. Oh shit, something is really wrong. There's something more here than just these people. And then later he just when he pulls him under his neck and just tries to kill him, the servant. That's something. And then in the climax, I think we get more stuff.
So you use the term goblin. So there's this comment which says, "Am I the only one who saw William Dafoe's Green Goblin on his face in certain?" I mean, that smile, that's so scary, and it's like you've never seen Mammootty like that before. Like it's the whole the makeup and the prosthetics and the teeth. The way they are.
Like there's evil in his, in his smile.
Yeah.
Like this guy is not good.
I mean, I do you think he has treated this role quite unlike any that he has played till date? Because first of all, being 72 and doing this kind of a role with so much ease, and
So
the act.
this film is a lot inspired of, as well as not look wise, but theme wise and all. It's inspired from his older film Vidyan, where he
Okay.
plays a what do you call it, aristocratic man, and he uses his power to oppress others
Have
because
you
they are
seen
below
it?
him. Yeah, I've seen it. So that
Okay.
thing of the bull with the horn, that's a
Right.
very iconic scene of it being behind him and he just sitting in front, and it looks like he has those horns.
Okay.
So that you'll see that imagery also in this film. So it's very much inspired from that. But that was a different film. Here it's just playing a different character. But one thing I noticed, I didn't talk about my review also because it's kind of spoiler.
Mm.
What I noticed was uh, the goblin was not evil.
Mm.
It was Mammootty. He was playing Kudaman. I forgot the name. Kudamai, something. His character's name. Who we think he
Right.
is? He's the owner of the house, or the
Mm.
he came and he got the goblins in the chain, and he's owner of the house.
Mm.
He's evil, and the goblin is just portraying that evil because he has taken
Right.
that form. Because at the end, when we see him taking the take Thevan's form, he's not
Mm.
evil. He's not smiling. He's not giving you that evil vibe.
Yeah.
He's a different person. He's just like Thevan now.
Mm.
He's calm. He's composed. You know, he's not giving you because so my point is that Goblin is also part of this circle of oppression. He was oppressed, so he became the oppressor. So
Mm.
when he takes Mammootty's face, like the character's face, he's just acting like him. He
Right.
is oppressive because he knows he was oppressive.
Mm.
So he's acting like him. So when he takes Thevan's form, he's not that anymore. So that, I think that just makes it more fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think with that perspective. So that's the beauty of discussing with another,
Yep.
person. Uh, and I really like the black hole sort of idea as well, about it. And how Potti says that he has not seen the outside world in a long time himself, and
Yeah.
it's doubtful whether he has ever, considering the story that reveals his true identity. So
Yeah.
the whole black hole reference was also interesting in that sense. Uh, there's another comment by Shazam. Do you think they should have added VFX towards the end?
But in what part? Like, where do
Yeah,
you think?
if
Because
you
I think
could.
the when the and from the dead body the goblin comes out, that whole sequence is amazing, and then him it hiding in the under the stairs, it was epic. I think that just a glance
Yeah.
of that black wide eyes, it was enough.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah,
don't
like if
think
you could be a little more Shazam, if you could be a little
like
more specific.
those sequences where they like he's getting trapped, you
Hmm.
feel the trapping, but you know the scene where he like kicks the thing out and comes out of it, that felt like thermocol or some like it's a set,
Yeah.
so to me that felt like cheap, like it's not real. What do you call it? First I thought it's just happening in their mind, they're just there where we saw them last, and it's just happening in their mind, but no, it was physically happening, so I wasn't sure what's how to take that.
This is an interesting one. Sequel should be Goblin ends up in a corrupt king's court where there's a power struggle going on, and Goblin should work his way up almost as a good guy and anti-hero.
Interesting.
That's
Andoga,
Yeah,
I know
almost as
this
a
guy.
good guy and anti-hero. so, so that's interesting. Then Nandu says, I'm very impressed by Mammootty's story selection. Also waiting for the latest of Bazooka. It's a game thriller. Yeah, I mean, Mammootty's story selection. So we talked about it in the last podcast as well when we were doing Kadil the Core. The last couple of years, the way he has gone on to select these very choosy roles, and kicking it out of the park every time. Like if somebody sees Kadil the Core and then somebody sees this, it's just testimony of the great man's talent. Like they are two
Yeah.
like such extremely opposite roles, and for him to be like, and just a year ago, Nan Pakal had come. So the CV is so good. So, and this comment is like just like that. Hats off to Mammootty for delivering such films, such amazing roles. I'm quite surprised. Why not by other superstars? Like, and he has put superstars in the inverted commas. Come on, you people, you don't have to lose anything. Go for better content driven. I mean, I don't know which other superstars he's referring to, but as far as Mammootty is concerned, I mean, nobody has,
I think Prithviraj Sukumaran said in an interview that during COVID he met with him a lot, and he learned that he was like now I just want to do what I want to do. So like, I just want to do crazy stuff. I just don't want to be
Hmm.
just one kind of films and this and that. Like I just want to do everything what I can.
So that was, you think, because of their conversation, like he would have inspired
No, no,
him to.
he was in the he was going through because COVID everywhere it impacted everyone, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So he was like I don't know how much time I have, so now I just want to do everything I can.
right. Now, coming to the performances, of course, everybody talks about Mammootty and deservedly so, but Arjun Ashokan here, he was
Yeah.
shining throughout. His dialogue delivery was subdued, and I think his body language was what the game, like really the difference maker. I think in this one, and the physical nuances of his character. So. You think this guy has been a little bit under the radar, like a little underrated for the last few years, and this was like his moment to shine?
I think he has, I think, more screen time than anyone. So it's basically like his film in a sense. You can say
Yeah,
it's ensemble, but he's kind of a main protagonist. You're following the story through.
right.
And I think the director said that he approached more actors, but
Hmm.
finally he decided. on him because he had that. I think the eyes, he mentioned his eyes. And I think
Yeah.
his role is more important because I think the way a person gets scared, right, can be very melodramatic sometimes or just too much, overacting. So I think because you have to be relatable to that character, you want him to do well. Oh, I think we lost Keshav. Hello. I'll continue. I don't know if the stream is live or not. I'll continue. So Ashwin's character, demands that what do you say? Uh, the him to act well because his performance can make or break it. So that's very very important. So him doing a good job actually helps everyone else. And I think I on Discord I shared a video essay which was really interesting of how performances can help each other, like Mammootty's a performance of being more evil. Oh, I'm on his channel, guys. Welcome to All Things in my podcast. I'm Nona Prince. I have taken over the channel because Keshav, I think, has lost the connection. Now, I don't know I can control this stream or not, but I'll try to at least talk something about Bramayugam. You can guys can send in your chats. But I was talking about, yeah, so Mammootty can became more evil because Arjun Ashokan's performance of getting more scared, like lose, like getting that affected by his aura. So that helps, each other. I hijacked the channel. I didn't hijack, but yeah, welcome. Are you guys watching the IPL match, guys? It's going crazy. Hyderabad is just wow. It's already, I think, 10, 11 overs, 160 runs scored. They can actually go for 250, 300. I don't know, not 300 would be too much. But they have batters who can, deliver that. But yeah, back to Brahmayugam, guys. Let me know. Andoga, your sequel idea is very interesting. But I don't know how Power Struggle Code. They didn't mention, like, we can have Portuguese now also. I just know that everyone hates Hardik for some reason. Yeah, he just stuck in a circumstance where it's not a great place to be stuck, and he is because Mumbai Indians didn't handle situation better. But what can we do? Oh my God, that's a six from Klassen. I'm just watching the match at the bottom, but yeah, I'm contacting. So yeah, Brahmayugam guys. What do you want to know? Any insight thing about Brahmayugam if you guys want to share? That sequel idea, like I would love to see a sequel with the Goblin's character. And my thought of it's not who you rooting for. I'm actually always not a Mumbai guy, so I'm rooting for Hyderabad. I like Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins is I like his cool demeanor. Yeah. Hey, welcome back. So I was saying,
Hey, my
yeah, I covered
internet
everything. I
dropped
hijacked
off.
the channel. Yeah, I hijacked the channel. Everything is great. Nothing happened. Yeah, Arjuna Shokan did a good performance. Basically, that's the end of it.
Actually, my internet dropped off, and now I'm on hotspot. Uh,
Wow.
so so yeah, so we'll just wrap it up anyway, because we have talked quite in detail, but just a couple of points that were left here. And so apart from perform, of course, I can't leave out without mentioning Siddharth Bharatan. He was impressive
Yeah.
with such multifaceted performance, and the various dimensions in his character. I think these three complemented very well each other as well, in a way. Being his cook.
Yep. Because you cannot tell what he is doing. Who is he?
Yeah,
He's also is he losing memory also or not? And then the
yeah,
reveal. Oh, it makes so much sense. Oh, he's also part of this.
yeah. No, and people are actually people in comments are actually talking about IPL now.
No, I I
Uh,
I took a detour. Sorry,
okay.
that's on me.
But just talking about technicalities before we end this, I think cinematography was the standout feature. Capturing the depth without having the color. So particularly
Yeah.
towards the end, when the characters are affected by all these delusions and everything. So, your take on cinematography in general?
Amazing. Well done. And liked that it
Shehnaz Jalal.
went with a very different aspect ratio, not a
Yeah.
normal cinematic aspect ratio. So that was also gives you a feel. I think one very interesting fact Bala Jangan pointed out in his interview, that how movies like films started the black and white thing. Like before
Right.
that, paintings were there, right? They were not black and white, they used to have color.
Mm.
So the element of black and white came from filmmaking, like camera
Mm.
invented it. But this film is in set in very old times where the camera didn't exist, but we are
Mm.
showing olden times with the black and white look.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of, what do you call it, what's called, come on, paradox, kind of paradox,
Paradox.
that you're showing olden times with black and white, but olden times didn't have black and white. So very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's very very well put definition of paradox there. I think special mention to editing as well. Keeping the viewers on the edge of the seat with this whole the ethos of the world, and also the sound design and background score. I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of my department, and I was so like how you said that you are not really a horror fan. So same with me. Like I don't really enjoy the genre, but just even after that to for us to be able to enjoy that film, I think sound design and score played a huge role.
Yep, definitely. I think today only I was watching
Yeah.
something and they said 50% of video is audio. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it out. And I think Christo Xavier is his name, who's done the music, and he really did a great job, for putting out that madness musically. And overall, I think I would say that this film for me was what I saw in this film was how it brings out the worst in people. Like for me, that was a
yeah,
moral of the story that sometimes even the well-intentioned people, it, even the worst in them can come out, and I think that's where this even after being a 17th century film, like the plot line, that is where it speaks to you in 21st century as well, that even the well-intentioned of people uh, can be those sort of multi-dimensional people, and the worst can come out in them because of these circumstances. So that was my
yeah,
takeaway. Like, what would you say just for parting word? Like, what was your takeaway from the film?
yeah. I think the way it depicts, how power corrupts. That line from, I think, BVS. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think, but it also shows, how Theven's character didn't want the power. He was just like, I'm always the guy who suffers because of you getting power. Be it you,
Yeah.
be it the goblin, because of your cycle of power and oppression, I am the one who always suffer. So he was actually fighting for the right, but and he ended up being the innocent guy. Always ends up, dying and getting harmed. So it shows you, and
Yeah.
the way at the end Portuguese show up, like when he gets shot, right? Like when he stops and sees a man, like what is it? What did he see? What happened? And then you say, oh shit! Like the next oppressors are here.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's the
You
game of
walk
the
out of the
times.
house. Yeah,
Yeah, as it was pointed out in from the trailer itself, like when the whole dice thing, I think that's the pivot around which the whole movie is being played. So yeah, so this was Bramayugam. Better late than never, because we really wanted to discuss it and we missed it in theaters, and now it's out on OTT. Definitely a must watch. And if you're watching at home, I would recommend you to watch with good headphones at least. If even if you missed it in the theaters, if you have good headphones, the whole sound design and background score will enhance your uh, experience at home. It's a little bit, not it's not quite same as theatrical, but still,
yeah.
it makes a difference, especially in such kind of horror films. So thank you, Nona, once again for doing this. For another Mammootty movie tick mark on our podcast, and now
More to
can't
come.
wait for the goat. Yeah, can't wait for the goat life. I was about to say. I think that's been one of the most anticipated film across the Malayalam industry, and let's hope that it is another good one, as as
Yeah.
any other Malayalam film that we look forward to.
Still not out near me, but let's see.
Yeah, I mean, the anticipation and the hype is there, and we are all Prithvi fans, and 15 years that guy has given it to that film, so just on that goodwill, I would hope for the movie to work out.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching as well. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the chat, and sorry for the little bit of drop off in the middle where Nona
No,
was
no, I
doing
handled it well.
yeah,
I
where he did IPL commentary, I guess. So that's something you get only on this channel. So all right, thank you, and have a good rest of the day.